All right, Niners fans, let's get into it, because there's a lot to unpack from what's been happening around the San Francisco 49ers this week. First off, all eyes are on the quarterback situation once again. Brock Purdy was out there practicing, and that's definitely something positive to see. But let's not get it twisted. He was running with the third-team reps, while Adrian Martinez took the second-team snaps, and Mac Jones was getting the first-team reps. That alone tells us a lot about where Kyle Shanahan's head might be going into this matchup against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday night. Purdy is still officially limited in practice because of that nagging toe injury, and Shanahan mentioned on his latest appearance that Jones is likely going to be the starter this week. Now, I know some fans are getting anxious about that decision, but honestly, I think it's the right move. We've already seen what happens when you rush a player back from a turf toe injury. It's no joke. It limits movement, affects mechanics, and can easily flare up again. The last time Purdy came back too soon, it didn't just slow him down, it hurt the team. Remember that Jaguars game? He could barely drive off his back foot, was sailing throws high, and the timing was completely off. That led to interceptions, drive killers, and just no rhythm on offense. You can't win like that in this league, especially when you're turning the ball over 4 times in a single game. And while he wasn't helped by all those drops and the punt return touchdown against Jacksonville, it was clear as day that he just wasn't himself. So, this time around, I think the Niners need to be smart. Let the man rest. Let that toe fully heal. Because if they rush him back again and he re-aggravates it, that's basically a death sentence for his 2025 season. Watching him in practice, the ball doesn't have that same zip. There's a little loop to his passes, and that's not the Purdy we know. It's not about effort or will. It's about being physically able to do what he does best, and right now he's not there yet. That means it's Mac Jones' show this week, and he's walking into a battlefield. Atlanta's defense is no joke anymore. They've gone from being one of the least effective pass rushing units last year to one of the most aggressive ones in the league this season. They lead the NFL in blitz rate, and they love to line up in man-to-man coverage. That's a nightmare combination if your offensive line isn't holding up. And let's be real, the Niners' offensive line has been a problem all year, especially up the middle. Tampa Bay had their way with them last week. 22 total pressures, 6 sacks, and Jones getting hurried on nearly every other drop back. That's brutal. Atlanta's front is totally revamped. They drafted Jalen Walker and James Pierce, 2 young freak athletes who can bring real heat off the edge. They signed Leonard Floyd, and they've got guys like Rook Ororo inside who can collapse the pocket. The scary part is their sack production doesn't just come from 1 or 2 stars. It's coming from everywhere. Defensive ends, tackles, linebackers, even corners and safeties. This is a defense that's built to attack from all angles. And that means Mac Jones is going to have to get the ball out quick and make smart decisions. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Falcons' offense is loaded. Michael Penix Jr. can absolutely spin it. Bijan Robinson, man, that guy might be the most dynamic offensive player in football right now. Drake London's size and catch radius make him a nightmare in one-on-one matchups. Kyle Pitts is finally starting to look like the generational tight, and everyone thought he would be coming out of Florida. And with Tyler Allgeier providing power in the backfield, this Atlanta attack is no longer predictable. The difference has been moving offensive coordinator Zach Robinson down from the booth to the field. It's brought a spark. The Falcons are fast, they're confident, and they're playing with swagger. This is not the same Atlanta team that people circled as an easy win when the schedule came out. The Niners are banged up defensively. No Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner, and that's huge. The pass rush hasn't been the same. The run defense has been leaky, and explosive plays allowed have skyrocketed. That combination is dangerous against a team like the Falcons that can both ground and pound and stretch the field vertically. So, don't be surprised if this becomes one of those shootout games where the Niners have to throw to keep pace. One bright spot, though, George Kittle is back. That's massive. He's officially been designated to return from injured reserve and says he fully intends to play Sunday night. Now, it's insane that he's coming back this fast considering he had a fully torn hamstring. That's the kind of injury that usually sidelines a guy for months, but Kittle's built differently. He's a freak athlete, one of the most disciplined guys when it comes to rehab, and you can tell he's dying to get back out there. His return changes everything. The Niners' offensive line has struggled, but Kittle's blocking ability can stabilize the edge and help both in the run game and in pass protection. Plus, his presence opens up the field. Defenses have to respect him, which means lighter boxes and more flexibility in play calling. And don't underestimate what he brings as a leader. Without Warner and Bosa, this team is missing some of its emotional core, and Kittle's energy is contagious. He's going to make this group believe again. The Niners desperately need that spark right now. They've been predictable on offense, especially in red zone situations, ranking near the bottom of the league in efficiency. Kittle gives them a reliable target who can make tough catches and bail out his quarterback when things break down. But while the offense is looking to rebound, there's another storyline brewing on defense. What's going on in the secondary? Robert Saleh announced that Malik Mustafa and Jer Brown will be the starting safeties this week. Jason Pinnock, who's been inconsistent, could be on the move. There's even talk of him being traded, possibly to Buffalo, which makes sense considering their struggles in the secondary. Pinnock's always been solid near the line of scrimmage, more of a box safety type, but coverage has been an issue. Meanwhile, Brown brings more experience and play recognition, even if he's been a bit timid lately. Mustafa, though, that guy looks like a future star. He flies around, hits hard, and has great instincts. The real issue for this defense, though, is pressure. They simply haven't been able to affect the quarterback since Bosa went down. It doesn't matter how talented your corners are. If you can't get to the quarterback, someone's going to get open. So the front office has been looking around the league at potential trade options. Names like Trey Hendrickson, Bradley Chubb, Rashawn Gary, and Jermaine Johnson have all been floated. Hendrickson would be the dream addition. He's relentless, high motor, tough as nails, and fits the Niners' culture perfectly. But the Bengals aren't necessarily looking to sell unless their season completely collapses. If that doesn't happen, maybe a younger edge rusher makes sense. Someone like Jermaine Johnson or Will McDonald from the Jets, who already know Robert Saleh's defensive scheme, could be a perfect fit. Adding one of those guys could transform this pass rush, not just for this season, but for the future. And when Bosa comes back next year, imagine lining up a front with Bosa, a young edge rusher, and Arik Armstead all at once. That's the kind of defensive front that wins championships. For now, though, the Niners are in survival mode. This week against Atlanta is going to be a test of grit, coaching, and discipline. The Falcons bring pressure. They play physical, and they're coming off their biggest win in years after dominating the Bills on Monday night. They're confident, and they're not afraid to punch first. The Niners, on the other hand, have to find their rhythm, protect their quarterback, and stop the bleeding on defense. It's not going to be easy, but this is where great teams show what they're made of. What makes this matchup so intriguing is that both teams are heading into Sunday night with something to prove. For the Falcons, it's about solidifying themselves as legitimate contenders in the NFC South after years of inconsistency. For the 49ers, it's about showing resilience after weeks of injuries, doubts, and uneven performances that have shaken a fan base used to dominance. And there's a lot of pride on the line, too. The Niners know that a loss here could start raising uncomfortable questions about their depth, their preparation, and even their adaptability when their biggest stars are out. The tone this week inside Levi's Stadium has been intense. Players understand that Atlanta isn't the same old team that used to roll over in big moments. This version of the Falcons is aggressive, confident, and opportunistic. They disguise blitzes well, rotate coverages, and love to bait quarterbacks into throwing where they shouldn't. That's going to test Mac Jones' poise more than anything. Jones has shown flashes of brilliance at times this season, particularly when he's been able to stay clean in the pocket. He's accurate, cerebral, and can deliver strikes when he's comfortable. But when the pressure comes, and it will come fast and often, he's got to keep his composure. He's got to get the ball out quickly, trust his checkdowns, and avoid trying to do too much. The Niners can't afford another turnover-filled night. If there's a blueprint for success here, it starts with the run game. Christian McCaffrey has been the heart of this offense, and getting him going early will be crucial. Atlanta's front seven is physical, but still vulnerable against quick zone runs and cutback plays that test their lateral discipline. McCaffrey thrives in those situations, His vision and balance allow him to turn small openings into big gains. If the offensive line can create just a little space, it could open up everything else. Play action would become a weapon again, and that's where Mac Jones is most comfortable. You don't need him to play hero ball. You just need him to execute the system, hit the short and intermediate routes, and keep the chains moving. And speaking of weapons, Brandon Ayuk has quietly been one of the most dependable receivers in football this season. His route running is elite, and he consistently creates separation against man coverage, which he's going to see a ton of on Sunday night. With Atlanta playing such a high percentage of single coverage, there will be opportunities for Ayuk and Deebo Samuel to win those one-on-one battles downfield. The question is whether Jones will have enough time to find them. Kittle's return helps with protection, but Shanahan is going to have to get creative with his play calling. More motion, more quick throws, maybe even a few designed rollouts to keep the Falcons' pass rush guessing. Defensively, this game is all about finding a way to slow down Bijan Robinson. He's been incredible, not just as a runner, but as a receiver out of the backfield. The Falcons line him up everywhere, slot, wide, motioning into empty sets, and it creates mismatches. Without Fred Warner commanding the middle of the field, the Niners are going to need their linebackers and safeties to play fast and disciplined. Miss one gap or take one wrong angle, and Robinson will make you pay. He has that rare mix of speed, patience, and power that forces defenders to respect every part of the field. The Niners' defensive front has to find a way to get consistent pressure on Michael Penix Jr., and that's going to be a tough ask without Bosa. Penix isn't the most mobile quarterback, but he's deadly when he's allowed to set his feet and throw in rhythm. He throws with anticipation, and that left-handed release can be tricky for defenses because the ball comes out at a different angle. San Francisco's secondary will have to adjust, especially since Penix loves those back shoulder throws to Drake London. London's size advantage against the Niners' corners could be a problem in the red zone. This is where the defensive line has to step up, collapsing the pocket, forcing Penix to move, making him uncomfortable. And then there's Kyle Pitts. The guy's finally starting to look like the mismatch nightmare everyone expected. If the Niners decide to bracket him, that's going to open up opportunities elsewhere, especially for Robinson and London. So it's really going to come down to execution and communication on defense. The Niners can't afford busted coverages or missed tackles, not against an offense that's been clicking like Atlanta's. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The San Francisco 49ers are reportedly making waves in the NFL rumor mill, as whispers from sources close to the team suggest they have secured wide receiver John Metchie III to bolster their already formidable receiving core. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders are buzzing with excitement over the potential impact of this acquisition, and fans are already speculating about how Metchie could fit into Kyle Shanahan's dynamic offense. Metchie, known for his crisp route running and reliable hands, has shown flashes of brilliance in his career, and if the rumors prove true, he could be the missing piece to a 49ers receiving group that has been seeking depth and versatility. Analysts are pointing out that pairing him with star receivers could open up new strategic possibilities, stretching defenses and providing quarterback Brock Purdy with even more explosive options downfield. The timing of this potential move has fueled chatter across sports media platforms. Some insiders suggest that the 49ers are aiming to make a statement, signaling to the rest of the league that they're serious contenders and not willing to settle for anything less than a championship run. Metchie's skill set, quick acceleration, route precision, and an ability to find soft spots in coverage fits seamlessly with the 49ers' offensive scheme, making this rumored addition particularly tantalizing. Fans, as expected, are already engaging in heated debates online, imagining the fireworks that could occur with Metchie joining forces with established stars. While skepticism remains, after all, NFL rumors have a notorious habit of fizzling out. The mere possibility of Metchie in red and gold is enough to send waves of anticipation through the fan base. Should the deal be finalized, it could redefine the trajectory of the 49ers season, adding a spark to an offense that thrives on precision, creativity, and high-octane playmaking. As the rumor mill continues to churn, all eyes are on the 49ers front office and coaching staff. If John Metchie 3 indeed lands in San Francisco, it might just be the headline move that sets the tone for the coming season. A subtle yet potentially game-changing shakeup that could keep fans and opponents alike on the edge of their seats. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.